Red, you're on Skeptic Generation. How's it going?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. Let me get you here and then... Okay, sorry. Since I'm producing this while I'm hosting, I'm just making sure that your name is coming up.
Oh, no, you're fine.
Thank you for calling in. I know you're a little quiet, but I'm trying to bump your audio up a little bit. What did you want to talk about?
So I was trying to figure out how to articulate this with the call screener, and you kind of helped me out. So I'm agnostic atheist. I kind of used agnostic atheist kind of the same way that you do. There's no, I don't see, I don't have a way to disprove God, but I also don't believe there is one. I was raised Christian when I was younger, so I kind of fell off the faith, and these talk shows kind of helped me firmed my logical stance on things and
Awesome.
how to think critically. But recently, I do like. I mostly got into it because I like the aesthetics of it. Nordic paganism.
Mm-hmm.
I really like delving into that. And I don't necessarily, I like to like read about it. Like this previous Christmas, I celebrated Yule instead of Christmas because I don't really identify with Christmas anymore, for personal reasons. I kind of just observe some of the pagan holidays, not necessarily because I don't really have a belief in it. I don't believe necessarily the wooey stuff in it. I just like to participate kind of in some of it because I kind of get a sense of joy out of it, kind of sense of meditation in some of their practices, and their symbolicism. I really like it, but I just been having these conflicting feelings of like, I don't believe this. Do I really get to say that I get to enjoy this, or should I delve into this stuff even though I don't believe it? Am I causing harm by pushing kind of, even though I don't really believe I'm pushing any belief on it, or just by even just participating in it?
Absolutely. That is a really, really good question. So you're going to get different answers from different people. I had a yelling match with somebody at a convention once about this.
Oh, no.
Oh, it was amazing because the person was one of the main organizers of the convention. It was at the Center, SciCon, Center for Inquiry. They do their convention in Las Vegas. And this person was extremely against Christmas for those reasons, right?
Yeah.
But as I've kind of talked to people and as I've thought about it for myself, here's what I've come up with. We have a cultural heritage that we are entitled to. It is in our language, right? That there are a lot of words in English and probably every other language that have roots in religion. But that doesn't mean that leaving the faith means that you can't say those words anymore. You know, I can still say damn it,
Yeah.
even though I know that no one's getting damned to hell. Right.
Yeah.
And I think that holidays are the same, right? It is part of my cultural inheritance. I think I was raised around holidays like Christmas and Easter, and while I don't believe the religious piece of it, it is an excuse that I get to have to make a whole bunch of food and tell the people that I love them, and to gather around and it is a really feel good thing that I love doing, and I'm going to continue to do it. And I feel like I have the right to it. I don't need to celebrate the same way everybody else celebrates. And I think there are a lot of atheists that do that. And I think that is kind of a Christian atheist, right? Somebody who still takes part in some of the holidays and things like that. But they don't believe. You also have humanist or non-believing Jewish folks, right? Jewish atheists.
Yeah.
They still consider themselves Jewish because they they still celebrate the holidays and are active in the community that they were a part of. They just don't believe. And what I love about the Jewish community is that they create a space for them, right? They don't ostracize them because they don't believe. They go, oh, you're still Jewish. You just don't believe in God, you know? When it comes
Yeah.
to paganism, it's called atheopaganism. I'm sure you know that. But being an atheopagan means you're an atheist who is celebrating pagan stuff. There are
I
also,
actually never heard of that before.
yeah,
I didn't know about the atheopagan stuff.
it is a really, really interesting. Just be prepared, because people want to gatekeep always. There are Christians who want to gatekeep Christmas away from, atheists. There are going to be pagans who want to gatekeep, their pagan traditions away from non-believers as well. That said, you got people like Ocean Keltoy. Who considers himself a pagan. But generally, the last time I talked to him, doesn't believe. There are lots of non-believers there who are taking part in those traditions because it gives them identity, a community to be a part of. You have those things in common. You have holidays like you talked about with Yule. We've celebrated Yule in this house for the last couple of years too. Right? You have people who are involved in druidic or witch, quote unquote witchy stuff.
Witchcraft.
Yeah.
Wicca.
But like V will do, spell work, which V knows it's not doing anything, but it appears to me to be a really great way to center yourself. It's like journaling, but you get to pretend to do cool stuff, and you're just like, it's meaningful, and you're doing things that are symbolic to you, which are really, really cool. You don't need to necessarily believe in it. That said, I think the harm comes when you prop up the religious parts. If you
Yeah.
celebrate Christmas and you're like, hey, Merry Christmas, I don't think that's necessarily doing anything wrong. But if you're yelling at people that it's Christmas, damn it, not Happy Holidays, okay, I think you're doing something wrong. If you are saying Jesus is the reason for the season,
No.
I think
there's a reason why I stay away from Christmas now.
Yeah. So I don't say those things, but no one's taking Christmas away from me. Damn it, I love it too much, and I'm taking that as part of my cultural inheritance and my that heritage that I have a right to. So if you're going to get involved in paganism, the only scary thing that I've seen as an outsider is you got to be really careful, because there exists a paganism to alt-right pipeline that, like, if you're on TikTok and stuff, can get real scary.
I stay away from TikTok.
Well, just in social media, that there exists this pipeline, and the great thing that I've seen in atheopagan and generally in pagan communities is this really big push out that kind of alt-right or really weird shit. There is definitely a big push to exclude that, and I'm really, really happy to see it. It's just something to be wary of, be mindful of that.
Yeah. I'm always vigilant for that kind of stuff. I'm pretty on the left, so I try to ground myself and stuff.
It can sneak up in really weird ways, and that's all. But yeah, I hope that giving you that definition, atheopaganism, gives you a route that you can kind of search and have
that definitely did.
Good.
I didn't think about it that before. I'm like, I had another thought while listening to you, and it might be something I call in later about, because I don't want to take up too much time since I know you have another caller on. But I feel like my fear of like perpetuating this, because I feel like, oh, I don't have a belief in God, and like, well, there's a lot of like people out there like Christianity and stuff that, not that I don't mind if you're Christian, but like if you perpetuate like things like you're taking rights away from people and stuff. I feel like I have to advocate for like, no, if you shouldn't participate in that if it's going to have harmful beliefs. But I kind of just came to the thought like that probably stems from me being ex-Christian and them perpetuating on me, you need to go out into the world and pretty much proclaim Jesus wherever you go,
The Great
which
Commission.
was drilled into my head as a young child and something I stressed a lot about.
Yeah.
I was like, that's probably where it stems from, and it's probably something I'm going to talk to my therapist about.
Well,
but
I
think I need to articulate my points on that a bit better.
So the thing is, even if that is the point that you come to the conclusion about, it's valid, right? That argument that I had with somebody at PsyCon, they had that view that celebrating Christmas perpetuated Christian supremacy, and that the only way to get away from it is to abolish Christmas. And to me, I think that all lines are arbitrary in the end, and where you set your flag is where you set your flag. For me, I set my flag somewhere like I'm never going to pay a tithe at a church, you know?
Yeah.
But I am willing to reach across and collaborate with the church when it comes to doing humanist things, aiding a community, right? For me, those are kind of where my lines are. And Christmas is firmly in the, that's okay for me. But if you come to a different conclusion, that doesn't make you right or wrong. It just makes that the line that you drew for yourself, and that's okay. So
yeah, I think I'm still trying to figure out where I'm planting my flag. I guess I just keep moving it, and I feel bad.
Why?
In a way.
Why?
I don't know. It's
okay. If there's something
I guess it's probably just a shame.
No, so if there's something that you want to draw from this, I remember when I went to church, one of the things that we would say to each other to invalidate other people is, oh, well, they said this thing, but they were wrong. So obviously they can be wrong again, right? There's this.
I do remember hearing that quite a bit in my church too, yes.
Yeah, there was this cultural expectation that if you can prove fallibility in someone, that person is no longer an authority. Which is why I think so many people are so desperate to not be wrong, even about stupid stuff, because they feel like that would kill their authority. The last conversation I ever had with my pastor, he was yelling at me about how Stephen Hawking said a thing and he was wrong and everybody laughed at him. And to him, that was proof positive that Stephen Hawking should never be listened to. Right?
Yeah.
That may be a little bit of that indoctrination still rattling around in there. It's okay to be wrong.
The more I think about it, yeah.
And I think that, like, for me, embracing that I can be wrong is the only reason I'm able to do a call-in show. Because if I screw up, what I need to do is I need to go, hey, shit, I was wrong about that. I'm going to fix that, or, and I'm going to do better moving forward. And people really appreciate that. And that's something that you have the right to do for yourself. It is totally okay to be wrong. Keep moving that flag until you are confident that that's where you want it to be. And in 20 years later, if you don't feel like that is the place for it to be anymore, move it again. It's okay. There's nothing to be ashamed of. If anything, you should be proud that you're putting it somewhere where you believe and not because you were told to put it somewhere. That is awesome for you.
I'm trying my best. You just keep continuing to say things that I've been struggling a lot with my mental health and stuff. And I just want to thank you for when you coming back today, you just said so many things that resonated with me, and it's really going to help me later on. Earlier in the show, you said growth doesn't come without pain, and I pretty much started crying because
Right.
I've been going through a lot of pain, and that just kind of helped validate my feelings that I am growing, because I've been feeling like I'm not growing enough recently. So thank you so very much for your words.
I'm really glad that they helped. And there is going to come a point in time where the future version of you is going to look back at this and be like, hell yeah, I was growing. It's just, we're not able to see it when we're in the middle of it. But that hurt is growth. So that's awesome. Thank you for being vulnerable. Thank you for calling, and I really, really appreciate it. I'm really glad that you called.
Thank you so much. I was debating on whether I should call today or next week, but I'm like, no, I want to call now. So thank you for having me.
The show is better because you'd called. So thank you. Take care. Have a good one.
You have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye. My heart.